What's up, guys? Welcome to the Alligator Garage. We're hanging out with Sterling from Industrial Objection, talking about their new XR1 turbos.
Yeah, so this is a brand new line for us. Basically, what we wanted to do here is we wanted to have a full line of drop-in replacement performance turbochargers. The nice thing about this line is you don't really need anything to go along with this. If you got a stock pickup truck and you're looking for a slight upgrade that you don't really have to add any other components to go along with it, this is a fantastic option for you. Or if you do have, a little bit bigger set of injectors and some aggressive tuning and you're just looking to knock the EGTs down a little bit, this is a great option also. The entire line of the XR1 series is they're all going to have a 64 millimeter compressor wheel in them. It's a billet compressor wheel. And the other cool thing about this line is we have them for basically all of your common three brands. We offer them from the 94 to current Dodges, 01 to current Chevys, and the 94 to current 7.3s, or 94 to current Fords.
Yeah, Ford Power Strokes, yeah. Now, you said that you can do basically all these turbos without modification of fueling or anything like that, and there's 64 mils pretty much across the board. I did notice on the Cummins turbo, that basically a third gen HE351 turbo there, that it's a 11 blade versus a 7 blade. And are you able to, I guess, what is it, like a 64, 74, 14? Is it 12 centimeter exhaust housing? I mean,
yeah. So it's this on the 5.9 turbo. It's a small factory housing on it, so it is still I think it's a 9 or 10 centimeter housing. It's a pretty tight housing. But on this one, we went with an 11 blade wheel. We found on our engine dyno that we actually got a little bit quicker spool up.
Right.
And a really, really nice power output out of the 11 blade as opposed to the 7 blade. So we went that route. It's a bit more available.
Low drive pressure still?
Yeah. Drive pressure is still not really an issue. I mean, obviously, if you're adding a ton of fuel to this thing and asking more of what the turbocharger is capable of, you may run into some drive pressure problems. But
because I know with my old truck, the 06 I had, when I threw a 64 mil turbo on, but it's your Silver Series, so it was a bigger turbo, it was a 64, 74, 14, that I had, it was mandatory you have to do some big fueling in that.
Right.
You can get away kind of with hundreds maybe if you have some aggressive tuning, but I didn't really see the big power output until I did 180 horsepower injectors with the dual CP3s to be able to really power a 64 mil turbo.
To be able to really drive that charger, and that's one of the real nice things about this thing is you don't need those really large injectors. You can do it with a stock injector or a set of 60s or just a programmer. If you just got a edge box, something like that on the truck, it's going to run fantastic. With this turbocharger, you're going to see a drop in EGTs, drop in drive pressure. This is a great option for that guy that's not looking to make a ton of horsepower, or add a bunch of other components to it.
Right.
So,
you guys do pretty rugged testing across the board. Because you have the in-house engine dyno, and so you can kind of test, and that's how you're able to find out that the 11 blade did a lot better than the 7 blade, and I guarantee that's not the only turbo you do that with. You go through each individual turbo, test it out to see what flows best, what you have to do to the compressor versus maybe a different bearing setup or something like that. Do you do a full, build on these turbos, or are you just slapping in a compressor wheel and have at it?
No, that's what a lot of guys will do. They'll take the compressor cover off, they put a different compressor wheel on, slap the cover back on, and away they go.
Right.
What we do is just like we do with all of our turbochargers. It's a complete teardown with the new wheel. Obviously, that's going to throw the balance off from the original balance of the box unit turbocharger.
Right.
So we go through, we do a zero balance on the rotating assembly. Not a ton of bearing changes. The only one that we really made a big bearing change on is the 7.3 one. So this one is sized like your 7.3 Power Max.
Right.
But we wanted it to be a journal bearing charger. So this one we actually built it as a journal bearing charger just for the reliability of the journal bearing as opposed to the ball bearing.
Correct, yep.
And so this one does have the bigger turbine wheel in it, just like you're going to get in a Power Max. Obviously the bigger compressor wheel, the full zero balance on the rotating assembly. And then a journal bearing setup.
And then your 6-liter one is kind of replicating that?
Yeah, the 6-liter one, the cool thing about the 6-liter one, as well as the Duramax one, instead of starting with a new stock turbocharger for this, we're actually starting with a PowerMax. Big benefit to that is the turbine wheel. You know, you get that larger turbine wheel, it's going to handle the drive pressure a bit better. Still going to spool really well, still going to spool like a factory charger, but it's going to do a much better job of cutting down on EGTs as well as drive pressure. Much better option than using a box unit, especially in these two applications.
Right.
So,
and your price points are going to be pretty much what you see with some Garrett's, standard PowerMaxes and everything, and kind of right in that same price range there.
Yep, we've got these prices as aggressively as they can be, especially for the quality of the turbocharger. Like I said, especially on these ones here, we're building them out of a brand new Garrett unit and modifying to meet our needs. One of the other nice things about all of our XR series is every single one of them is going to come with a polished compressor housing.
Right, so shiny.
Yeah, so shiny.
So shiny.
And then for your later back to the Duramax here, we're going to offer this for the LB7 all the way through L5P.
L5P. Is this an L5P turbo?
This one is not. This one's the LBZ LMM based turbocharger.
Okay.
So this one here is a 6.7 Ford one. It's built out of a 15 plus turbocharger. We went away from the 11 to 14 turbocharger, which was a little bit less reliable than the 15 and up. So we modified. We start with a brand new Garrett stock 6.7 turbocharger, and then modify it as needed. Like I said, still gets the zero balance. It's got the larger compressor wheel, larger billet compressor wheel. And we do have the kit available where you can drop it into the 11 to 14 truck as well. So
that's the big thing is all these are dropping. You don't have to get different pedestals, different piping, anything like that. Your factory intake, so it's great for a guy that is either wanting to bump up a little extra power, maybe throw some stage 1 style injectors in, or your factory turbo toasted and you need a replacement.
Exactly.
So instead of just dropping in truly a stock turbo, that's gonna have its failure points as well, and its choke points. You guys kind of went through and pulled out a lot of those choke points, did some testing, kind of just like what you do with everything else. You make it better than a stock, stock setup. So,
and that's what we try to do with any of these upgraded parts, whether it's this line of turbochargers or ejectors or engines, whatever it may be. We really like to look through what the factory fail points are, and when we build our own, we try to remedy those weak points.
Why wouldn't you?
Yeah, exactly. Try to. We don't want you to have that same problem again.
Right.
We want you to put something on that you can be confident with and know you're gonna get a boatload of miles out of.
Absolutely.
And never have to touch it again.
Right.
And cool thing with the drop-in, this is an upgrade that you don't have to, like we said, with modify anything. You don't have to get rid of any of your emissions components or anything like that. All of these are going to work 100% emissions intact.
That's a big deal, especially as the industry evolves into more of a emission compliant builds. Guys aren't going to be deleting the trucks near as much. I mean, the technology's advanced so much, from tuning to injectors to airflow. You can make some pretty damn good horsepower. 650 horsepower reliably all day long with keeping emissions intact. So why not keep it?
Yeah. You really don't.
It might not necessarily keep you within warranty doing like some big aftermarket stuff. With this truck we're doing some compounds, dual fuelers, some big injectors. Lift kit that right there is gonna throw you out of warranty. Built transmission, all that good stuff. But most of these guys that'll be doing these drop-in replacements, they do want to stay within that factory warranty for as long as they can until that thing ends. So
absolutely,
this can be a great option for all those type of guys. So
definitely.
If you have any more questions at all, just hit us up. Otherwise, we'll have each of these turbos available on our website at alligatorperformance.com.